After the bus crashed, there were no survivors. On another note, let's talk about something more positive. The atom. We'll be talking about the history of the atom.
Aristotle was the first contributor to the atom. It was basic and outgoing because there wasn't advanced technology. His theory was that everything was made from earth, wind, fire, and water.
Next came Democritus, a Greek philosopher, and he came up with the atom, which comes from the word atomos. His theory was that there are all different types of atoms with unique masses. Next came John Dalton. He pictured the atom as a tiny, indestructible particle with no eternal structure. He did not doubt Democritus or Aristotle, he just was contributing. Next came J.J. Thomson. He used an electric current to find electrons. He used a magnet and attracted the beam with a positive and the negative side of the magnet. Through this, he discovered that the space around the electrons was positive and the electrons were negative. Here is his conclusion and what he came up with. Next came Rutherford, and his experiment was to shoot alpha particles at a gold foil and have sensors around the outside to sense where the alpha particles went. He expected all of them to go through due to its size, but what he got was them going all over in different directions and some even backwards. This was because there are space in between the electrons, and it bounced back because there is space in between. It shot slanted because of the electron. He concluded that an atom has a dense positively charged nucleus, and that the electrons move randomly in the space around the nucleus. Next,
Bohr's theory is that electrons exist on specific energy levels and orbit at a constant rate around the nucleus. The graph set is a state at which electrons are as close to the nucleus as possible.
Next came
De Broglie found out that electrons have similar tendencies to photons, and they move on a wave-like orbit and emit light on a high energy level.
Then came along Heisenberg with the uncertainty principle. He said that Bohr was cray-cray because you cannot possibly determine where an electron is. And so he came up with the orbital, which is an area where an electron most likely exists, and each orbital can hold at most 2 electrons. And so these are the orbital paths that he came up with. Next came Erwin Schrödinger, who through mathematical equations came up with a model to describe the motion of electrons in the atom. His works gave him the electron cloud. Lastly came James Chadwick, a British physicist, confirms the existence of neutrons, which have no charge. Atomic nuclei contain neutrons and positively charged protons. In the end, all of these amazing scientists contributed to the greatest find ever made, the atom. None doubted each other, but added on and working together to find the atom.